Welcome to the Intelight tutorial 206. This tutorial is going to demonstrate how to use a non-locking PED service for a special application when SafeWalk is being deployed. SafeWalk is a video detection system that is an addition to the PED push button. So therefore, if a person wants to cross the street, he pushes the button, and SafeWalk also detects his signature waiting to cross. Now, if somebody's walking down the sidewalk and he doesn't push the button, we assume that he's not interested in crossing the intersection. But oftentimes, when low volume, the pedestrian will go ahead and cross the intersection, and the call is locked in to the controller. This causes the controller to stop the vehicle traffic when there's nobody at the intersection. So to cut down on these complaints, we and these two detectors. For this application, we have a specific example, and it happens to be in the small town of Herndon, Virginia. At this particular intersection, we have a TS1 cabinet that we're going to modify to add SafeWalk. So the database is going to be all triggered around TS1, but the same thing can be done with TS2, ITS, or 170 cabinet. Okay, so we start up max time. And the first thing we're going to do is go to unit information and make sure we label the intersection. This is Van Buren Street in Herndon, Virginia. Then we will go to the sequences. And in our case, it's a very simple sequence. We have 2 and 6 is the vehicle movement, and phase 4 is the pedestrian only movement. So after the sequence, we go into phase configuration. And we want to label our intersections. So 2 and 6 are the vehicle movements. Phase 4 is the trail. And of course, phase 8 is our dummy phase to hold the barrier. Then we're going to go into phase times, and we're going to put some PED times on phase 4. So I got 7 seconds of walk, 12 seconds of PED clear. I'll just point that out because you got to have a walk in there. We're copying the timings out of the existing controller, so this is what exists. I also did something different here. I zeroed out the yellow. I could have just extended it through yellow, but I zeroed it out just because it's a nice new feature that we have the ability, because this is a PED only phase, so there's no sense of having a long red when we're transitioning back to the vehicle movement. So then we go to phase options, and they're all pretty standard down through here. I went down and I made a special indication for the 0 yellow. I also put it on 8 because I make the dummy phase match the compatible phase. And I also make it dual entry. So now we're going to go into the specialty program. Notice I have no phase 3 or phase 7. So I'm going to use the vehicle phase 3 and 7 detectors. And I'm simply going to go to my input pins. And I'm going to remove vehicle detector number 3, which is normally on this pin, big cable B, big N. And I'm going to move that logic to the PED detector. So normally BM is the phase 4 PED detector, but I'm going to make it vehicle detector number 3. So now when they push the button, it acts like a vehicle detector. So I'm going to use vehicle detector number 3 and number 7. 7 is going to be the SafeWalk detector. 3 is going to be the PED push button. Okay, the rest of the program is going to be down in the user programs. So I'll go down to the user programs, and I'm going to label my first program as a non-locking PED logic. So I like to label, put tags in, so when I come back, I can recognize what logic I was trying to create at a particular time. So label it, and then I go down and set the programming. So I'll try to make this a little bigger so we can all see it. Hopefully it'll be okay. So the first line is I want to find out when the PED detector is not on. So I set the negative. I know when it's on. Also need to know when it's not on. So the next line is I want to skip the set value if it is not on. If it is on, then I want to set it to the cycle length. So line number 3 is I'm setting a countdown timer. So what this logic is they push the button, and I need to keep that button true for the length of the cycle length. So I set a countdown timer. Now, I AND that to the SafeWalk detector. So somebody pushes the button, and is in the detection zone, then they'll get service. But if they walk out of the zone, I drop detector number 7, which is the safe walk detector, and therefore I don't have to stop traffic when nobody's there. So as I come down through here, I'm setting up a countdown. So I subtract 1 every tenth of a second till I get to 0. And down at the bottom, I'm ANDing the detector, the PED detector and the vehicle detector. So the bottom 2 lines are critical. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking the PED detector, which is global variable 2, and the safe walk detector, which is vehicle detector number 7. And if they're both true, I call phase 4, but I call the vehicle phase 4. When I get to the next, when I'm committed to service phase 4, then I call the PED and run the walk section of it. That's what this last line is about. The U2 and detectors, and we'll hit apply on here. And one of the cool features in 1.7 is the ability to have multiple print templates. And I'm kind of old school when I'm doing logic. I like to print out my logic so I can see it while I'm editing or save a copy. So I hit the print logic button and it opens up another window and it brings up the logic that I have programmed in. So the first thing is my 32 programs, and the first one is logic Non Locking Ped. Down here is all my programmable parameters, so I can go down through that. And then down I have all my notes, so we can go down here and read these different notes. And of course you can go up and hit the print button and make a hard copy of it, and you can adjust it. It's just a nice little feature. Wanted to add it in this little tutorial because you know, when sometimes it's nice to have a piece of paper. So I guess the only thing we got left is really to test this, so let's do that. Okay, to test this, first of all, we probably should go back and review a little bit. We'll go back to our inputs screen. So we go to cabinet configuration, inputs. Notice that we have to push the vehicle detector, the safe walk detector is number 7. So we'll indicate that with a little arrow. So pin 7 in the input screen, and pin 12, because that's where the PED push button is wired up. So those are our 2 magic pins. So we're going to go back up and get our status going. I'm going to bring up my inputs, outputs, and I'm going to uncheck, I want to check 7 and 12. There's 12. I hit apply, and they're both true. So now I have a call. I have a vehicle detector call. And for some reason, maybe the person walked away. I hit apply, and the vehicle call gets dropped. So phase 4 is not going to come up unless the timer is running for the PED detector and phase 7 is true. So if I hit phase 7, so if he wandered out and he wandered back in, I put the vehicle call back in, and it will not be serviced because I'm running coordination. I got a big green band, so I have to wait until the timers come up and make it true. So we're going to hit 7, and we'll hit 12. So we got our call. We'll watch the coordinator. We'll look at the countdown timer when it gets to the particular permissive window when it can service phase 4, which is my pedestrian movement. You will see that PED call will be active. I need to slide it up and see the cord here. Oh, there we go. So we look at the countdown. It's coming down. My last 20 seconds is the split for phase 4. I go yellow. Notice the little finger for the PED call. The PED is running. I go to from walk to flashing don't walk. And of course the person walks out of the zone, the call gets dropped, and we go back and dwell in 2 and 6. So pretty cool stuff. Nice little application. If you need more information, Jim Lampy is the guy I've been working with on this. He's pretty cool. Talk to you later. Thank you for watching this tutorial with me. I hope you found it fun, and we will do more special applications in the future as they come up. Certainly it demonstrates some of the power of max time and the flexibility of doing new things. Hope to see you at the next tutorial. Bye.